just looking at the Antonio situation, I want to take your minds back. Well, go back in history, if you like. Not too long, by the way, not too long ago. And it's really to the end of last season. Fantastic Antonio had a wonderful, wonderful campaign, and it was suggested that he could get even better. He'd only just really started his journey as a striker, hadn't he? And we thought that there was whilst he started to learn the nuances of the game and the little intricacies and those things that you're just only going to pick up by playing centre forward, that he won't have got by playing on the wing, that he would get better. All we had to do, as far as weakness is concerned, was keep him fit. And it certainly appeared to me, we're never going to know the conversations that go on behind the scenes, but it certainly would appear to me that David Moyes would have said to Antonio, we're going to make you the main man. In many respects, we're going to build the team around you. As David Moyes himself said only this week, if Mikel Antonio doesn't function correctly, the team don't function correctly. We're a better team when Antonio plays well. I think the comments were somewhere in between those two, but you probably heard him say them anyway. Now, and also he said to us on many occasions that Antonio's the main man. He feels he's got enough up front. Antonio's going to be the main striker, and when he's not there, he can juggle things around. So if you're saying that to us, I think you're certainly saying it to Antonio. Now, during that time, it was rumoured or suggested that Antonio would be looking to sign a new contract. Let me tell you Antonio's contract situation as it stands right now. Antonio's contract situation is that he has got 1 year left on his current deal, and then, so literally his current contract finishes at the end of this season. That's when it's terminated, but we have a 2-year option. So in effect, we've actually got 2.5 years of Antonio then. Now, I don't know what you think, but you certainly look at Antonio, look at his injury record, been pretty good this season, let's be honest with you. But he's in his 30s already, and to have 2.5 years on there to make a decision doesn't seem that bad. However, bearing in mind, you have to suggest his profile had risen, his performances were good, he was being talked about as one of the best strikers in the Premier League. You can understand why there was talk about a new contract. What were they going to do? Maybe round that 2.5 years up into 3.5 years or whatever. Rather than it being an option at the end, they would just rubber stamp the deal and it would be a 3-year contract. He's on £70,000 a week. And I guess that was going to be up to about 100 grand. And I think it'd be fair to say that there wouldn't be too many people at all who would have argued with that sort of money. It seemed like a fair deal considering how well he was playing. What I wonder now is, has the relationship between himself and the club, himself and David Moyes, or certainly, I guess it would be Sullivan who's negotiated his contract, has that changed? Has that changed somewhat? Because I think when you look back, and that's why I say go back in time, you look at that point when everything that Mikel Antonio was striking was going in the back of the net. He looked like one of the best strikers in the league. It seemed like good business. Number one, to keep him happy. Number two, just to tie him down. Look, he's at the wrong age. It's not like Chelsea are going to come in and buy him. But we were lucky. I've said many times, if Mikel Antonio was 24, the bigger clubs would have bought him by now. So it seems sensible to keep him happy, give him a better contract, and say, if we're saying to him, you're the main man, then let's pay him accordingly. I didn't hear too many dissenting voices with that, 1 or 2, but in the main, people agreed with it. Now, the interesting thing is, at the time, he wasn't going to go with Jamaica. He'd initially said he was going to go to Jamaica, then he said he wouldn't. And then after that, he said, OK, I'm going to start playing international football. I'd like to go and play at a major championship. Totally get it. Totally understand it. However, has that changed the dynamic? Because I think if I was Sullivan, if I was Moyes, I might at that point think, oh, hold on a second. Because it's a lot easier, if you're going to sign someone up for 3 years, it's a lot easier to safeguard his fitness and keep him injury-free if you've got him all the time. I'm pretty sure part of the new contract was... And part of that discussion would have been, do you know what, mate, we're going to wrap you in cotton wool as you get a little bit older. What we'll start to... A lot of you remember Paul McGrath. A lot of people remember Redley King. They actually didn't train come the end of it because their knees were shot and stuff like that. I'm not saying Antonio's knees are shot, but the point of the matter is their clubs managed their training. And I'm pretty sure they would have said, look, you're the main man. What we'll do is we'll make sure you get the best recovery, we'll get the best physios, all of that sort of stuff. We'll wrap you in cotton wool between games and we'll make sure you're fighting fit for each game. You're the main man. You're going to spearhead our Premier League attack. And I'm pretty sure that even if it wasn't said, there would have been discussions that Mikel Antonio could possibly go and challenge for the Golden Boot. The moment he decided to play international football, that's changed slightly. I wonder, that's the first point, I believe, to it changing. As I say before, I don't use the word a lot, but change the dynamic between in that contract negotiation. Before I go any further, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can download the OneFootball app by using the link below, literally under this little screen here. I think you've got to click a little arrow to drop it down, actually, but it's there. Click it. It's the OneFootball app. It puts all the West Ham news into one place for you. It's a Premier League app. It's a global app. It's a global football app. But if you just want the Premier League news, just want the West Ham news, you just click on what you want. Then it just delivers it all to your phone. Best of all, it's free. Great supporters of the channel. We thank them very much for it. You can actually use the QR code if you want to download it. Not sure how you do that. Give it a go. You probably know more about these things than I do anyway. That's the OneFootball app down below. Okay, so that's the contract situation as it was then and there. Then you start to look at it and you think, well, hold on a second. What about right now? What about right now? Would you give Antonio a new contract right now? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. Because actually, if you were to look at it at the moment, the rest of this season at 70 grand, take up the option, certainly. Antonio for another 2 years, that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, I think it does anyway. Would you put another year on top of that, which in effect would make it 3.5 years, all on the bigger wages? I don't think it's so much wages. I think we've saved a lot in wages over the years. I don't think it's so much wages, but it's really the changing of the way that he is perceived from within the club and the way that the team need him. And actually, we look at it now and I think that boy needs some help. And it's not that I believe he should be jettisoned or sold or anything like that. I think Mikel Antonio has an awful lot to offer the team and the squad. However, we really, for the benefit of West Ham, and surely this is what we're looking at here, for the benefit of West Ham, Mikel Antonio can't be the guaranteed striker. He's got to be one of two. He has to be one of two different strikers. And each one has to have an equal opportunity to play in the team and retain their place. So if we were to go in and get whoever, pick your name, it doesn't matter at the moment. We've been linked with enough of them. I'm sure we'll do more videos in the coming days for more. But do you know what? Let's go with Cabral. Let's go with Cabral, right? Let's say we sign this Cabral. Cabral has to feel that if he plays in that game, and it has to be the case that he plays in a game and he scores and plays well, then he's in for the next game. And by the same token, it have to be that if Antonio comes in and he plays well, then Cabral drops to the bench. Sometimes, and look, this is the thing, look at how we were against Arsenal. If we'd have had two strikers in that game, I'm pretty sure more... All right, the red card and down to 10 men throws it out a little bit. Under normal circumstances, if we're behind in a game, you might throw two strikers on. It would make sense. We haven't even got that option. But my point, anyway, forget that. My point is that bearing in mind, I think it's fair to say we need another striker. Not as understudy to Antonio, but who puts real pressure on him. And when we don't have Antonio, or we have an out-of-form Antonio, someone that can still spearhead the team. The team doesn't drop off when he doesn't play well. If we're going to do that, and he's going to be a younger player, is it wise to tie Antonio down to 3.5 years and put him on the extra wages? I'm not so sure. And I just wonder, with all that in mind, if at the moment, because it seems to have dragged on a bit, the contract's not been signed, we don't seem in a hurry to do it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's him dragging his heels. I wouldn't think so, though. I'm pretty sure Antonio wants to sign the contract. But I do wonder, if that is playing a part in it all. I do wonder if that's playing a part in his form. Maybe the fact that they've looked at it because of the Jamaica thing, because of the fact that his form has dipped a little bit. Also added to the fact that maybe they want to bring in another striker. They're looking at it thinking, we don't have to. Because actually the ball's in West Ham's court. They have all the advantages there because they've already got an option on him. Now, even if West Ham were to look at it and think, do you know what, we might just leave it for a little bit. Might just keep our powder dry. That is going to play on Antonio's mind, isn't it? Has that in some way got to do with his form? I don't know. I'm clutching at straws, but we're clutching at straws because really we've got no answers. And look, I think fatigue and tiredness has played a massive part in West Ham. As I mentioned the other day about a break to Dubai, it might not be the worst thing. I don't think we can. I'm not sure you could at the moment. I'm pretty sure if all the players have got a couple of weeks off, sunning themselves and, you know, get out of England and all that, and they come back, they'd be refreshed, and I think Antonio would be one of those. But that doesn't mean you discount bringing in another striker, and that doesn't mean necessarily you just throw money at him. I just do think the two things have changed the nature of everything that surrounds this. Anyway, be interested to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Excuse my phone going off then. In all honesty, I've ordered some chicken. I've got to be honest, I've ordered some chicken wings from Nando's. Not so much a cheeky Nando's. It's quite a lot of chicken wings actually. So I've ordered that, and that was the phone beeping, telling me that the Deliveroo driver is on his way with my chicken wings, which I'm very, very pleased about. Anyway, never mind chicken wings. Let me know what you think about Antonio. Is the contract playing a part? Would you give Antonio the new deal? It's not like he's only got 6 months left on his contract. Let's be fair. We've got the option there, 2.5 years. I'd wait and see. I think the club are waiting and seeing, and I think that might be contributing to what's going on.